Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. This week finds the ladies more contemplative than usual. I would recommend you pause the show and start drinking before you proceed any further, sweeties. And now, on with the show.
Sound of the cuckoo, you know that it is time for the Clockwork Cabaret. Hooray!
Yeah.
I am Emmett Davenport.
And I am Lady Attercop.
And it is, the third week of 2021? Second week of 2021?
I think, well,
second,
we
third?
are recording, we're recording on Monday, the 18th. By the time this episode comes out, it will have been Friday. It will be the 22nd. The inauguration will have
happened.
Fingers crossed. Hope happened without violence. Putting that out into the universe.
Please.
Past us doesn't know what happened. But present us is a little anxious.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And we try to make these episodes back in the day. We did try to make these episodes kind of timeless, in that we didn't try to reference current events, and we didn't try to reference anything specifically going on, because people don't always listen in a chronological order. They don't always listen when the episodes come out, and then the world happened at us.
Yeah, it was a lot easier. It was a lot easier to do that when we weren't having to do this remotely, and we could actually sit down and the two of us would work out the playlists and write some little snappy bits that we wanted to add into the show and various
Remember
other things.
when we used to script things?
Yeah, I remember that. That was before all this stuff, and I'm tired of it.
That was back when things ran relatively smoothly most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
there wasn't a new potentially world-ending crisis happening every day.
Yeah, so when we have the freedom of being able to be in the same room and go out for beers and work on the episode together in the same place, I think we can very easily add more of that stuff back. But until then,
who knows what the world will look like then?
Yeah, hopefully it will be.
Who knows?
A better place for everyone. That's all I'm hoping. I know it's a tall order, but it's what I'm hoping. I would like to go back to never remembering politicians' names.
Oh, I would like to not having politicians' phone numbers saved.
In my phone.
In my phone, and showing up in my most recent calls.
Yeah. These are. It's a simple.
Simpler times.
Thing that I want, which is to go back to being slightly apathetic. I mean, I was still upset about a lot of stuff. I just didn't really feel the need. I felt like other people have it covered. I'll do it. I'll do it when I
just didn't feel like I might throw up at any moment from rage and or fear and or frustration.
Yes. Also, I just really wanted to get through a day without having an alcoholic beverage. Oh, wait, who am I kidding? I drink an alcoholic beverage no matter what. That has nothing to do with anything. Let's be honest here. I just like to drink.
It's 2021. We have left all pretense behind because we no longer have any patience or time for it. Yes. Because we live in a constant state of anxiety and just staring into the abyss constantly.
Yeah.
Whether it's through doom scrolling, whether it's through whatever dumb things that the people in charge are doing that aren't even subtle, and we just have to sit here and try to muddle our way through it, all while being put in mortal danger.
Yeah. I just feel like my slapping hand is really, really just, itching to slap some people in the face.
I don't want to slap anybody anymore because that would involve touching them.
Oh, that is
and then
true.
That would mean their germs are on me.
That is true. I could put a rubber glove, and then it's slapping. It's a slapping frenzy.
What if you just filled a rubber glove with cement?
Oh, that.
Hear me out.
Or whipped cream, just because it's funnier. But
I mean, that would be a better video, but this is not a visual medium.
Oh no, that's true.
That would be for you.
That's just for me. It's for me. I just want to.
And then that's veering into some wildly inappropriate territory.
Yeah, probably. I just. There's just a lot of people I want to slap. For the dumb things that come out of their mouths, for the dumb things that they do.
Oh yeah. Listeners, once again, not to get too personal, but I don't personally believe the concept of hell. But I really wish I did right now, because there's a lot of people that I don't feel like are going to get even a fraction of the retribution that they deserve in this lifetime. So I would like the comfort of believing that they'll get their comeuppance in the next. But I don't believe that, and it's kind of stinks. So I have taken to faxing those people instead.
Oh yeah, well, sometimes
I took a not an entire page, but I took a page into the Pirate Bay, because you know what? Your elected officials have a fax machine, and you can send them faxes, and you can do that through several free online things that don't need your actual real name or your actual real number or your actual real email address, as long as it's an email address you have access to that you can respond to.
Yes.
And you can attach PDFs, and there's lots of programs that you can draw whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to draw, but if you were to draw, I don't know, let's say a big glorious dick labeled "This is you," in some program such as Photoshop, and then save it as a PDF, you can set up a Google Voice number and an alternate email, and you can send that to your elected officials. And it's not going to solve anything, but it will make you sleep a little better at night, or so I have allegedly been told. I personally have certainly never faxed a picture of a big veiny cock to Tom Tillis with a little arrow and handwritten next to it, "This is you."
Seems very weirdly specific.
Coward. Yeah, no, it's just a hypothetical situation that I've invented in my elaborate mind palace, that no one would ever do this because, Tom Tillis is a coward who won't, vote for the impeachment of a traitor. So, hey, if this is how you voice your frustration in a manner that they won't pay attention to, because I have done the earnest emails and I've done the earnest voicemails and they still don't listen to me. So you just express your frustration in a more physical manifestation?
Yeah.
Again, all hypothetical.
Yeah. Oh no, it's totally hypothetical.
And you just kind of think about running the toner on their fax machine, and it brings you peace at night while you go to sleep.
Yeah. Also, we paid for that fax machine.
Yeah, we paid for that fax machine and that toner, so I can use it up however I see fit. I have never ever done this. You will not attach that to any of my IP addresses. But there are public libraries. Anyway. Not that I've done this.
All we're
in the parking
saying,
lot of
all
the
we're
public
saying,
library.
friends, is that Lady Attercop and I are tired. We're tired. We're so very tired. We're tired of being alone
And
in a room far away from each other. We're tired of
watching each other on a tiny video screen,
Yeah.
waiting for the other to stop talking so that we don't cause that weird Zoom thing where it cuts the other person off.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just, I'm tired of it. I want to go back to, spontaneous radio.
I would absolutely murder certain people, not naming names. But you know what? Hey, what does it even matter anymore? Because apparently you can just waltz up to the friggin' Capitol with a spear, calling for blood, and build a guillotine on the grass, and just But I would threaten to murder a person just to be able to not worry that going to work or my friends and family having to go to work is gonna cause them illness, death, or permanent disability.
Yes. Yeah.
Because our elected officials really don't seem to give a flying fuck about what happens to a goodly portion of us, and that's very frustrating.
It is. It is very, very frustrating.
It's enough to make you fax penises to an elected official. Not that you should do that, but you can. If it'll make you feel better.
I also look forward to not getting all politically bent out of shape on this show, because we used to be.
Yes, remember when this never had anything to do with real life?
Yes.
Remember those days?
I miss those days. I miss them more and more.
We didn't curse, we didn't mention our real names, we didn't talk about our actual histories.
Yeah. It's just fluff. I miss
It was
fluff.
just fluff. Remember fluff? Fluff is good.
And with that, I'm gonna press a button.
Oh, I think you should. I think you should stop us from this.
Sirs, how many times have you gazed lovingly over the side of your airship only to have your favorite chapeau leap from your head into the void, lost forever? Many are the ways you could try to keep your hat attached: straps, belts, ribbons, penny nails, or the steady hands of a workman. These methods, good sirs, are simply outdated. Fly to your local apothecary and procure a gallon jar of Silas Buncombe's hat cement. You can't afford not to.
So, Lady Attercop, I have.
Yes.
We've talked about this on the show before, but I want to bring it back around because I did. So one of the songs that I played that I chose was from Popeye, which you commented on. Harry Nilsson's Kids, from the 1981 Popeye, I believe.
Oh God, I don't know when that monstrosity
but
came
it's
out.
Robert Altman directed it. Robert Altman of MASH movie fame.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a bunch of other movies that are good.
Yeah, starring Shelley Duvall,
yes,
an accomplished actor who was in The Shining, and Robin Williams, a famous comedian who you may have heard of.
Yes, yeah.
Who has some serious acting chops.
There was a bunch of character actors in it that are very, very recognizable. That, it's very, very strange to think about it, in the fact that the cartoon that it's based on has a sailor man with strange arm muscles.
Well,
possibly bone growths. I'm not sure what is wrong with him, because no arms I've never seen real people with arms like that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think the original cartoon, the original comic strip.
Yeah.
You don't have to be realistic in that, because it's an unrealistic
it's a cartoon
world that Popeye the Sailor Man inhabits.
Right.
I just want to know
What made them
It was.
decide?
I looked it up. The movie came out in 1980.
Okay,
We had been discussing this. I had horrible flashback. Not horrible. I just had flashbacks when that song was playing because that was one of the movies that, like, one of the pantheon, I guess, if you could say, or a lexicon of weird VHS tapes that my family specifically rented. They were not necessarily popular movies. They were not necessarily good movies, but there was this weird, like, library of VHS tapes that we could or movies that streamed on like local access TV that we could always be trusted to watch. And the Robin Williams Popeye was one of those. I think my dad really liked it. So I think it was one of the movies that whenever we couldn't make a choice at whatever video rental store that we were at that point frequenting, it wasn't always Blockbuster because there were a lot of weird, sketchy local video rental places that we frequented as youngsters. That was always one of the ones that if we couldn't make a decision, if we all couldn't agree on something, Popeye would like pop into the rotation. And I had forgotten that it was a musical.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I knew several songs from it.
It was a weird musical.
It was a really weird. Yes. Just everything about it was weird and off-putting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, trying to make, we now live in we are now in a time frame where they have made, video game movies and more video game movies than should exist.
And we lived through the 90s, so we saw a lot of really bad video game movies.
There was a lot of really bad video game movies. Also, books being made into movies is completely passe. I mean, everybody does that. Comic book movies now has happened. Cartoon Dick Tracy happened in the 90s. That is also a strange, inexplicable, because they also tried to make all of the characters look like the characters from the comic strips, which, there were a lot of weirdly drawn characters that then they had to recreate.
Yeah, characters that worked in 2 dimensions but did not work in 3 dimensions.
They just became living nightmares. And Popeye is kind of one of
also
those.
The Dick Tracy movie. Oh, it was so bad. The Dick Tracy movie had one of the dirtiest lines that I've ever heard in a PG movie.
Was it a line that Madonna says?
It was a line Madonna said. And
that's
she was
so surprising.
The frozen peach. So I brought ice cream. It's frozen peach. You better eat it soon. It's starting to run a little.
Oh.
Like, that might not have been the exact paraphrasing of the movie, but that was very, very close. This was marketed at children.
Yeah.
Madonna, in all of her, like, late 80s, early 90s Madonna glory, breathed that line.
Well, yeah. Well, her character also was named Breathless Mahoney.
Yes. Spoilers for the very old movie that no one has seen because it was very bad. She ended up being the bad guy.
I've actually seen it. I actually saw it several times because I believe it was playing when I worked at the movie theater, and I had to see it a lot.
In the theaters.
I had to see it a lot.
No, but you know what's sadder than I saw it in the theaters and you worked at a movie theater when it was playing? Mr. Ducky was a big Dick Tracy fan.
So he actively wanted to see it.
He actually wanted to see it and had a birthday, his, I think, 12th birthday party?
Oh.
12th or 13th birthday party was Dick Tracy themed.
Oh. It's adorable and terrible at the same time.
Also, like, and then, like, the Madonna is, like, busting in. what is essentially a children's movie. Like, Popeye was a terrible movie. It was bad in many, many, many bad ways. But it understood that children were probably going to be watching it, so Olive Oyl never busted up on screen and be like, I brought you ice cream. It's olive oil flavored. You better eat it fast because it's starting to run.
Yeah.
Like, Shelley Duvall never busted up on screen and said that.
No, thankfully.
Any of the other characters.
She did sing a song about how Bluto was large.
Oh, that's right. She did talk about Bluto's dick size in a song. I forgot. I did forget. She spent an entire song about telling about how she was a battered wife. She was a battered girlfriend, but he was hung and he was hers.
Yes. He's large.
You are correct.
But he's mine.
God, the 80s were a fucked up time.
Yes.
No wonder we have no good moral compass. Do you see the children's entertainment we were presented with?
Well, one of my favorite children's movies that I question the people who made it, and then the adults who let their children watch it. Monster Squad.
Monster Squad were one of the scariest monsters to ever exist in any screen, was defeated by kicking him in the nuts.
Yes.
And they conveniently ignored the fact that they needed a virgin to recite a spell, and they were chock full of male virgins, but apparently none of them would work.
They only needed the 5-year-old girl.
They needed a virginal girl child, not any of the other virginal male nerds that were populating the entire film.
Well, and also as an adult going back and rewatching that movie, there is a whole side subplot about the divorce and separation of one of the main characters' kids, the dad.
The main characters' parents are getting divorced, and it is not played for comedy. It is played
super, super serious, and that is what is going on as a subplot. That made me go, oh, is this so that adults have something to pay attention to? And then it was like, why is this even in here?
I'm actually not mad at I know a lot of people make a lot of fuss about the divorce subplot, but I'm actually not mad at it because let's keep in mind.
No, it was what was problematic to me about it was the fact that that the father sounds like he's an abusive police detective.
Yeah, no, he doesn't sound great.
He's a police officer. He's a police detective, and it sounds like it's an abusive relationship. That's the whole part that makes me kind of go, why did you do this?
There are some very serious red flags that are brought up in the film,
and never resolved. And you have put this in the middle of a children's movie.
This is it's very serious and very well acted.
Yeah, it's Peter
Peter
Coyote.
I'm not mad at the because there's a lot of 80s films that are kind of fixated on divorce because that was happening a lot in the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
Because that was when it was suddenly a lot.
Yeah. Irreconcilable differences and
also women could suddenly get credit cards and bank accounts, things like that in their own names without having to lump a husband onto it. So suddenly a lot of women had financial options that they didn't have in the past.
Yes,
and that's why it seems like a lot of people got randomly divorced in the 70s and 90s.
But it also is
80s.
One of those things of having this if you want to have a subplot about your parents getting a divorce.
It's a weird flex to put a very serious and very normal reality-based divorce
in a movie
drama.
In a movie about universal monsters coming to life. That a group of
fucking Frankenstein shows up.
Right.
Yes.
That a group of children have to beat up.
We're a group of children and a Nazi death camp survivor
Right.
have to beat up. Let's not forget the fucking Holocaust subplot of the Monster Squad.
Right, the Van Helsing character.
Yeah, they have to find somebody who can read German, and there's a scary German guy. It turns out he's a death camp survivor. That's a light, fluffy thing to drop in.
Yeah.
We're just saying the 80s were weird.
Yes. No, it made Goonies seem light and not as scary.
Well, I mean, by comparison, Goonies was. There were no Holocaust survivors in Goonies.
There was some scary...
I mean, there was a mob hit and a dead body.
Right, there were some scary scenes in it, though.
Yeah.
There's several scenes that...
There were some skeletons, a dead guy, the mob.
As a child who had to go on a horrible pirate ride as a small child that it really freaked out, Goonies was terrifying. The whole one-eyed Willie boat with all of the skeletons on there, that was absolutely terrifying to me because I had gone on a ride with my mom and with the skeleton. It was like a log flume ride with creepy skeleton pirates, and some of the cobwebs had fallen and then stained my shirt so that it never came off because whatever spray stuff they used to make the fake cobwebs. So that was part of.
So this was like a carny kind of ride.
No, it was a ride at King's Dominion.
I don't know what that is, but
it's an amusement. Sketchy. It's an amusement park in Virginia somewhere. That
I'm from Florida. There's only
you get you have the big giant one. In other places,
but they're also real fucked up.
Yes.
Let's not
No, in other areas, we lived in Maryland at the time, and for a period of a couple years, every summer, my mom and her sister would take me to amusement parks that were in a short drive. So we went to King's Dominion and Busch Gardens and Hershey Park and some other ones that I don't remember.
You do not sound like you enjoy these.
No, these are the reasons why I do not like amusement park rides, for one. And two, I have really bad motion sickness.
Yeah.
I do not like rides physically as well as emotionally.
Yeah, if you're the friend that pukes on every ride, suddenly Busch Gardens is a lot less fun.
Yeah. Also, when you're a small child and you really start to realize that you're the excuse that's being used so that the adults can go and do this thing. Because I did not really want to go. I don't like being in a car for a long period of time because I get motion sickness. I don't like being on the rides. And then the creepy skeleton thing really scared me. Did not like it. And then you go watch Goonies and Monster Squad, and then you kind of wonder, it kind of explains why I don't like scary movies.
Yeah, to me, the most terrifying scene in Goonies was the dead body with the bullet hole in his head falling on Chonk. That was pretty scary. Also the scene. I don't know why the scene where he lifts up the eye patch and One-Eyed Willie only has one eye, and his skull has formed over the eye socket for the other eye. That scared me. I think mostly because I'd had asthma and the main character had asthma, and he saw that and went, and then immediately I had hit his puffer, so that made me feel like I had hit a puffer, and
Also,
it was a little bit of
the fact that the ice cream was smelting in the cooler.
Yeah.
That was also terrifying.
I didn't care about the ice cream was melting. Also, it took me a lot of years to understand. This is embarrassing considering how many Jewish friends I had, but I was an ignorant goyim. I throw myself upon the pyre of ignorance. I did not realize for a very long time that one of my favorite scenes, which is where Chunk is running through the forest because he's trying to get help because he's been trapped in a thing. His friends have hidden. Right. He's trying to get them help. And he's running through the forest and branches are hitting him in the face. And he's like, I love nature, but I hate the darkness. And that was one of my favorite scenes because that was very funny. And he runs into one of the mobsters and immediately starts singing. I did not clue into the fact that he's praying.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's Jewish and prayers is done in song. And he's like, oh, I'm about to die. And starts praying. And the other guy responds by singing opera.
Yes.
I did not clue into that particular little cute moment. It took me a couple of years as an adult. But as a kid, I didn't understand. I was like, everybody's singing. It's funny.
It's okay.
I had never gone to a temple before, so I didn't know that the prayers were done in song.
Yeah.
Because I was an ignorant goy.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
That happens.
You learn. You move on. And then when you're an adult, you rewatch the scene and get the joke and go, oh, God, that's really funny.
It makes it even funnier.
It does make it funny. That whole scene is very good.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, the kid that played Chunk grew up to be very attractive, just as an FYI.
Oh, I have no idea.
I watched a reunion thing.
Oh.
Where the original actors were Chunk grew up to be cute. Data grew up to be cute. We all knew that. And Mikey. I mean, we all knew how Mikey grew up.
Yes.
Because he would become Samwise.
And he likes potatoes.
And he loves potatoes. And Corey Feldman spent the entire time talking about how funny it was that they gave him all the lines about drugs. And all the other actors laughed awkwardly.
And Brad became Thanos and destroyed the universe.
Brad became Thanos and murdered them all.
It's true. That is true. All right. So I think it's time.
We've talked about
goodbye.
The Goonies and Popeye enough.
Yes. I think it's time to for me to go eat dinner.
It is definitely time for you to go eat dinner. If you would like to help us buy dinner, you can do that. Simply go to agonyauntstudios.com and there you can see all of the ways in which you can help support the show. You can either become a Patreon or one of our coffee members and can donate monthly. You can donate a one-time via either coffee or PayPal. You can follow us on social media. Emmett is at all the things at Emmett Davenport or Mad Spinstress.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Got it right. I always feel like I'm getting it wrong. I am at all the things at Lady Attercop. You can help the show by reviewing it on Apple Podcasts or on Stitcher. Give us 5 stars. It helps boost us in the algorithm so that people can find us. Am I forgetting anything?
Nope, I think that's it.
Fax your senators' dicks in the ways that I have suggested earlier in the show, or don't actually do that. Do that. But no way there could be traced back.
Also, if you missed the music portions of our show, you can listen to those on our Mixcloud station, which is mixcloud.com/thatdarlingdjduo. That is where the full episodes are because we can no longer post the music up on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, so we have to do some truncated, amended episodes.
Just the talky bits.
Yeah. But if you want it in the entirety with the music in the back announcing, that's where you go.
Yeah, if you want to hear me mutilate song titles and
if you
artists,
missed that part,
that's where it is.
I know I did.
Yeah. Also follow us because who knows, we might DJ again in the future. We had a lot of fun with the New Year's Eve thing.
We did, and we'll try and do that again soon. We have weird schedules right now, so it's kind of hard hard to get us both together at the same
Emmett's
time.
working 2 jobs and I'm working and going to school, so
Yeah.
like our schedules are
Very weird. Very
Yeah.
weird. Someday it'll all, every now and then there's a new day. There's a day that comes up that works just perfectly, and that will be the one. But we will do it
You
again.
never know when either one of us might get bored and just hop on to Twitch and stream. So follow us and find out if that happens.
That is true. And with that, this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she is Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Do you suffer from the horrendous ailment of omnitism?
Oh, it hurts everywhere.
So many of us do, having never realized that there is a simple and easy cure. With the introduction of Dr. Phineas T. Norwood's patented omnitism oil, a healing antiseptic liniment, you can be free from crippling omnitism. This amazing new oil can be used both internally and externally, but is best when used in combination. Headache? Phineas can cure that. Gut rot? Phineas can cure that. Bunions? Eye strain? Toothaches? Phineas can cure all of that. Generalized, non-specific pain? Phineas can cure that too. Right away on a cloud of happiness, using Dr. Phineas T. Norwood's patented omnitism oil. Dr. Phineas T.